peace, and I think if we hang in there, we'll have a town of quality. I would vote to deny the president's request. Thank you.
Wayne A. Bear, 2530 Rocky Point Road, Malabar, Florida. I'm chairman of the Planning and Zoning Board. As you know, the Borden's rezoning application came first before the Planning and Zoning Board. Many neighbors next to the Yellow Dog Cafe turned out for that meeting. The majority of Malabar residents spoke against the rezoning. Planning and Zoning Board members voted 4-1 against the rezoning, and we've heard the reasons tonight. The common concern that I heard that was voiced was, once the door is open, how do you close it? And there are 90 such parcels for coastal preservation. Recently, my wife walked around Rocky Point and talked to over 30 residents about the rezoning application. All but 2 were against the rezoning. Council member Brian Bale is our council member for District 2. I am pleased that he voted against the rezoning at the first council public hearing. He was not swayed by a large turnout of out-of-town friends of the Wardens. Lastly, I want to point out that our mayor has the authority to veto any voted decision by council. He has 5 days after a council vote to submit a written veto. It takes a supermajority of the council members to override a veto. Thank you.
I'm going to close the public hearing. If you make a motion, you are expected to support the motion. This does not apply to the person who seconds the motion. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2019-08, land use and zoning change for Stuart J. Borden and Nancy Teeman Borden Trust.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, then we'll go for discussion.
Yeah. It hurts me, Bob, to go against you here. You know I do care about this town. I mean, my wife and I helped paint some signs. We actually, I think, had a little help get us voted in as a trail town by the state. We do things above and beyond just sitting up here and passing judgment. I believe that the concern about this being a cascading detriment to our community is worrisome, but I do think this is a unique parcel of land in how it sits there, bordered by 2 commercial general properties, and no other parcel in the coastal preserve meets that same criteria. No other parcel of coastal reserve can be serviced by Palm Bay water and sewer. I think that it's not so much a matter of revenue for the town. Granted, we're not going to make any great money off of this. And I guess I might have stumbled through the part where I do believe that a person's property rights of ownership weighs greatly when it comes to a zoning request for change to zoning. And I just cannot deny this out of fear of what would happen to the rest of the coastal preserve, which does not meet these same criteria. Thank you.
Go ahead, Dave.
I have several things here, but I'm going to try to organize my thoughts economically here. my first reason for proposing that or voting for this in past meetings, because the council has been adamant that we want to create business corridors on Babcock Street, Malabar Road, and US 1, and limit the major businesses to those corridors. Now, everybody worried about, I'm trying to get closer to the mic so I can be heard, worried about this change might decrease the rural nature of Malabar. The US 1 is not really the rural nature of Malabar anyhow, and I've got to say,
Please address the council.
I was looking for the gentleman who is the real estate agent. Yeah. Anyhow, Malabar, where I live on Weber Road, is no longer rural. There are 4 houses going up there. It has become a suburban community. Country Cove is a suburban community. Rocky Point is a suburban community. We are not a rural community. And even if we were really a rural community, putting a 5-unit motel adjacent to a restaurant that exists now on US 1 would not change the nature of our rural community. Now, I must say that
Zoning would.
we're talking
I
about
guess that the public is finished. So we need
we're
to
talking
speak to-
basically tonight, as I understand this, of just extending their commercial zoning that they have for Yellow Dog Cafe, just enough down to the south to allow for this small boutique. Now, I have heard that it's going to be 100 feet high. I've heard that it's going to go all the way down there and block the vision of the people who live up on Riverview. And I've gone up there myself and looked and marked where the building would end. Of course, we're going to have to deal with a site plan. If the zoning is changed, then they've got to go through the site plan procedure. And Todd, how many people, how many organizations would have to approve such a thing out on the river? You got your inland water navigation people, you got town of Malabar zoning, and so there's an awful lot of people who would have to say yes. And they would also be concerned with the pollution of that river. All of us up here are concerned about what gets into the river that ought not to be there. So my point is, and I'm not here saying I love the Bordens, probably do, but not in sort of, but they have done a good job. The reason I mentioned them at all, they have done a good job so far in their time with the restaurant.
So they shouldn't have to follow the ordinance.
Minimizing or eliminating any pollution to the river with their restaurant. They've been very careful about that. And that's what I've been told by some of the people in the town. We need to create a business community in Malabar in order to keep one of the lowest ad valorem tax rates. We just raised our tax to less than 1/5 of the average in the county. So we've got a bargain living here in Malabar. Your ad valorem tax rate is low. The only reason that Granville County is lower is they don't have a public works, they have an awful lot of special grants, special assessments. The point is that it is economical. But there is also a fact, and there's a couple people in this room who know what I'm talking about. There's a company that owns property here in Malabar that was denied the right to build what he wanted to on that, and he sued the town and won the lawsuit. If we deny people use of their property, a reasonable use of their property, we put the town at risk of also losing a lawsuit. Am I right, Mr. Attorney?
Well,
I'm not.
your statement is correct, however, it's not, it's not going to happen in this instance, sir, because they bought knowing what the zoning was.
Thank you.
But, a couple of people mentioned, and only a couple, the property rights of the owner.
When they bought it, it wasn't like it.
Please.
But I understand what you're saying here. They knew what the zoning was when they bought it. It wouldn't change later, and hoped that it would be changed later. is, what they're planning to do is a very small project there. But that's going to have to be approved in a site plan application, not in what we're doing tonight. We don't have the right to approve their plans tonight.
Grant?
Okay. I think everybody on council knows that their attorney sent a notice to our attorney, Carl Bone, that I must recuse myself from this vote. Reason being, we have like properties, we have overlapping properties, we have interests the same, and I have a piece of property where if we open this door, if we're calling it that, to zone this, then I have a piece of property that could be used for the similar things. I own a piece of property that this zoning may very possibly affect. That being said, being a councilman for the town of Malabar, I think the best interest of the town of Malabar is to continue with the coastal preservation. It was now, when I listen to our town council, I find out that Brian Vale and Grant Ball both have constituents on the Indian River Lagoon. The three who voted against it have no skin in the game because it doesn't matter to them, because they don't have constituents that they're trying to
Oh my
override. It's been pointed out by Steve Ribbit and another council member that we just don't care about each other's areas.
Oh, that's
He said this proves it.
Hold on.
the whole town.
So,
Stay on top.
the taking coastal preservation away, I do believe opens a door. I don't think it's a good thing for the town of Malabar. And yes, it's only a small area. Yes, they knew what it was when they bought it. They knew it was coastal preservation. Where in my case, I've owned it since it was before coastal preservation. So I would just like to, that's my only thing on it. I think to reject this is the proper thing to do for the town council.
We've gone over and over this, on this issue. Everything that's, probably relevant has been said. I will point out that, Grant, your statement about what I said is incorrect. That's all I've got to say.
I think we need to preserve the coastal preserve. It's been that way close to 40 years. I think we need to retain it as it is. That's about all I got to say.
Okay, I would like to bring up Liz's question on the ordinance wording. Section 1 states, the town council has considered the recommendation of the planning and zoning board and approves the land use and zoning change for the property described below. It implies that the planning and zoning board approved the ordinance. So I would like, I read it that way, and I put a star by it, and Liz brought it up.
But I knew what
Two of us
No, you didn't
read it
talk to
that way.
Liz.
To me, it implies that planning and zoning board approved it along with council.
You want to change the language, man? We'll take the vote of the council with it.
Right, I understand it's all part of the ordinance. So do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you read it, does it imply that planning and zoning approved the ordinance?
Yeah, if that's standard wording, I don't see how it applies.
I've got no problem with changing the language a little bit out, but when I read it to say that we had considered their decision.
Exactly.
Now, that's the way I read it, but I knew what their decision was all along. Now, here, I have another point I would like to make, and that has to do with the petition. Everybody has a right to petition. However, I went into a restaurant the other day. The petition said on the bottom, the petitioner witnesses all the signatures. That's a lie. You couldn't, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you've got a personal interest in this, I know about, but the fact is that the petition was on the counter. If you wanted to pay your bill at the restaurant, you signed the petition.
No, they didn't have to.
The other
They're not
thing
certified
was, the people going to church a couple Sundays ago were accosted as they got out of the car to go to church.
Yeah.
And my next door neighbor made the announcement in church, and it's okay, those people are out there, they're legitimate people. But the fact is, I would like to have gone to church without having to sign a petition against something. I think the methodology, petitioners have the right. My goodness, I have participated in petitions over the years. But I think it ought to be done with ethics.
I want to get back to, does council, please, does council want to change the wording or leave it? Leave it alone? Okay. All right, number two, I want to address the petition. The petition is not allowed until after the vote. And it's 5 days after. If the mayor vetoes, then the citizens of Malabar can come forward with a petition. Well, first thing they need to do is come to town and form a committee of 5 people. And Debbie will give them the proper forms to formally have a special election to override the ordinance. So the citizen, it's in the code, I don't know the chapter of chapter 5, page of the charter, and it allows them to do that. What they chose to do is show that this is what could happen if they went out and got the signatures to show that the citizens of Malabar are against this, and if it still passes and the veto doesn't happen, then the citizens of Malabar still have the right to override the ordinance.
I would agree that the 300 or 400 people in Malabar who signed that petition actually did sign it. I know, out of the 2,800 people who got here. Now, I do have a problem though with the ethics of the way it's followed. Somebody printed up a bunch of signs, a point of order on it, which is just, it's just the ethics of this whole thing. Now, people don't have to agree with me. And,
Thank God.
I've got very good friends that disagree with me on a lot of things. Nobody has to agree with me to be my friend, but they have to be ethical. They have to be honest.
Graham said, Graham, I respect what you said. But, what Steve was getting to a while back was Brian and I argued to do a zoning measure in Steve's district that Steve was adamantly against. Okay? And I never for a moment thought that Brian did it because he doesn't care about any district but his own. And in fact, one of the major naysayers to this zoning change is in my district, so it's not like I'm impervious here, okay? So, to say that I voted for this or I'm about to vote for this because I don't fear the wrath of the people in District 1 or 2 is wrong, okay? And maybe we should go back to the ballot measure when we vote at large again, because I bet y'all didn't have this problem before. I mean, I wouldn't say a problem, but something that you could point to, okay, as being a problem. Because I think you just changed it to by district, right before I got here. Yeah. But it was all a ballot measure that you people voted on. Okay, so.
That's about 70-30 margin.
Yeah. So, I mean, point the finger at myself here, as far as a voter in this town,
Aren't you supposed to run?
Any other discussion?
Chair, I just want to comment on the petition requirement real quick. I'm not going to counsel anyone on what they need to do, but the charter is very specific at what needs to be done. It has procedural aspects, it has petition content aspects, and if the petition doesn't meet the charter requirements, it's going to be rejected. So You know, if that's the process someone wants to take, please read the charter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All right, Debbie, are you ready for the roll call?
Councilmember Ribbit,
Aye.
Councilmember Corn,
Aye.
Councilmember White,
Aye.
Councilmember Ball, abstain, Councilmember Vale,
Nay.
motion carried 3-1.
I would like to thank everyone who participated in the public hearing. It's been quite 2 months.
I also received a lot of comments, both via email and via phone, and even the people that disagreed with me were very civil, and we had respectful conversations, and we both found out a little bit more about each other's views, and I appreciate the civility that was displayed.
All right, thank you. So if you could be, we still have more business to do. So we have an action item on accept Walson Lane for town maintenance. I have a motion. Accept Walson Lane for town maintenance. Any further discussion? All in we have another discussion. Please keep, we have a meeting.
There's no meeting, guys.
Please. Do our requirements.
The boats,
All right, please keep it down. There's still a meeting going on. Thank you, council. Thank you, Dale, you got anything? All right. I don't have anything either. Without objection, meeting adjourned.
Wait a minute. I've got a couple things that I need to bring up.
Go ahead.
I know the noise goes away. This is something I need to consider.
Okay, Debbie. Dick had something I asked twice.
And I'm sorry, I'm just, because of all the noise out here, this is what you said. I made a call here today to Matt.
We still have a meeting going on, please.
I made a call here to Matt today. Apparently the town has hired somebody to spray defoliants down the road in the weeds. Those are poisons. It first came up a few months ago when 2 goats were found dead in a ditch on Hall Road right after defoliants had been sprayed there. The defoliants are poison. I'm told by the VA that I have prostate cancer because of my exposure to a defoliant. Look at all of the news about the Roundup and the lawsuits involved there. Why is the town paying somebody to spray the poisons that can get to me in my front yard? The town has hired somebody to do this. We can put a mower there, but if we're spraying defoliants, I'll sue the town. I'll tell you that right now, because I don't want to be back with prostate cancer again because the town paid somebody else to spray poison in my front yard.
Is that it?
Can we have this contractor come tell us what he or she is doing and what it all involves? I think that's what we need.
We've had a discussion on this prior, but I think.
But did we ever authorize the hiring him to do that? I don't remember. It's not in any minutes of it that I can read. No, we did never say yes, you can do it. It's not in the minutes of any council meeting in the last 6 years.
I discuss this, and if we can get a
We
discussion
discussed it
item
when
put
the
up.
We'll put a discussion item on the next agenda.
Okay.
With a representative, and
But between now and the next agenda, people are going to be poisoned unless we stop it now.
Right, you handle that.
Yeah. They're not, it's not poisonous.
It is poison if it's a defoliant, and it is poison to animals and to humans.
Hey, please take this to Matt.
Well, I tried to today.
I've explained this to you, but,
It is poison, and it is poison that will affect you and me. And anybody else who lives
Please,
there.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can buy it sprayed and spray on cattails in your pond that is approved by the state of Florida. And so it can, you can stop foliage without it being a poison.
and let's let Matt knows a lot more about this
Yeah,
pertaining to
we'll
the
talk.
DEP, so, DEP
these
regulations.
are EPA approvals for this particular aspect. Now, they have done studies for years and years and years on the actual poisonous effects of rubber. And they have made their statement over and over again, that it does not pose a threat to human or animals. All right, we're talking about 3/10 of 3
Well,
gallons.
the VA says that it is poison, and that's what poison means.
3,000.
I laughed at it because I didn't see how a defoliant could be causing cancer, but according to Veterans Administration, it did.
A direct exposure to Agent Orange could cause.
No, I had no direct exposure.
EPA agrees with
I was never even a field where it was. I was.
All right, we'll put it on the agenda. All right, thank you.
But it needs to
Without,
stop.
is anything else that, all right, without objection, being adjourned.
I don't want you garbage with you signs out there. You're not a friend of this town, you want to be.
Who this is? You assaulted me in
Oh,
public.
I did not.
You assaulted me in public. You.
I'm not very angry
Hit me in
today.
the head.
It was supposed to go across the front of you. I'm just not a very good, I'm not a very good hand.
You hit me right here. Did you catch that on film?
What?
Yeah.
Trying to get my couldn't see your face.
My speech, I just,
I asked him today and he said, yeah, one with that.
He's the man you gotta ask for that. Hey, we burnt the cameras up tonight, didn't we? Oh, we're going somewhere. Whoever's serving dinner.
Councilman White.